Hi and welcome to today's lead generation training. In this video, I will talk about how to set up and warm up your new email address for cold email campaigns. In this video, you will discover the step-by-step process to set up and warm up your new email, how to avoid blacklists and spam folders, and also how to protect your main domain and its reputation. If you never heard about Yantle, we work with our clients to give them more qualified leads and sales, to build a reliable and scalable sales process, and also to have more control over their sales process so they can focus on other areas of the business while we help them with building their pipeline. If you are completely new to the world of cold emailing or outbound lead generation, what we will do is we will create a new domain which is similar to your existing domain, and we will create an email address associated with that domain to do the outreach. But let's start with understanding of why doing these steps is important. Firstly, you need to get a new domain to protect your IP and domain reputation. If you don't do this, there's the risk that you will damage your existing main business domain. In terms of the implications, if you have the reputation damaged, it will influence your SEO, and also it can influence how your emails perform. What it means in practical terms, your emails will end up in spam folders. It's very likely that you will get blacklisted and your emails will not be delivered to your recipients. And this includes not only cold prospects, this includes people you speak to on a daily basis, your customers, your clients, or anyone else you are talking to via email. Secondly, we need to warm up the new email address because it has low reputation. There isn't any history of traffic of incoming and outgoing emails, and once you start sending high volume of emails on a regular basis, this will raise red flags with email companies as being suspicious. If they see such a sudden increase in activity, this usually signals maybe a spammer or someone doing something not completely legal, and that's why they're trying to be very careful about the limits and the progression of traffic of email addresses. So they make sure that before they allow high volume of sending, there's a history of ingoing and outgoing messages from that email address. And here are the key steps of getting this process done. Number one, we will get a new domain. Then we will get a GSuite account. Then we will work on authenticating your domain. We will do the warm-up, testing, and then some email housekeeping and good practices in terms of how you write the emails to make sure you're compliant in that way. So let's start with the new domain. So when it comes to getting a new domain, it should be similar to your existing domain to protect your brand's reputation, and also that it doesn't seem very suspicious. So if you have a domain, for example, SEOtools.com, you really don't want to start sending cold emails from a completely different website because there is a disconnect and people will simply think this is extremely suspicious and so on. So you want to really appear that you are sending it from the same brand. The new domain should be similar in name to your existing website to protect your brand reputation. If you send emails from a new domain which is similar to your existing domain, then this will not raise a lot of suspicion. But if you have a website and you start sending cold emails from a completely different website, people will see the disconnect between maybe the links you're placing in the email and the email address, and this will straight away tell people something is not okay here. There are a few different easy tricks how you can get the name of your new domain to be very similar in name to your existing website. For instance, one, by changing the extension. This is probably the easiest one. So let's say our existing original domain is SEOtools.com. The new website, the new domain name can be SEOtools.co, SEOtools.io, or you can do a prefix, for example, get. And so the new domain can be getSEOtools.com. Before you purchase the new domain, you want to check for blacklists just to make sure that the history of the domain is okay, and maybe someone didn't use this in the past for cold emailing or some bad SEO practices, and it's okay in Google's eyes. Next, you want to buy it, of course. I prefer to use GoDaddy, but you can use any domain registrar. And lastly, we will create a redirection to your main domain from the newly bought website. Setting up your redirection is extremely easy. Simply you have to go to your domain settings, scroll down, and you will see the redirection, and you want to do temporary redirect, and you will just type the name of your existing website. This means anytime someone, let's say, clicks on your new domain, or maybe they will try to figure out who you are from your email address, they will be automatically sent to your existing domain. This way you don't have to create a new website, and you don't have to do any extra things around your new domain. Simply this is set the way it is. Next, we'll create a GSuite account. GSuite is perfect for cold emailing because it is inexpensive, it is easy to use, and the way we want to use this, we want to fill out all the details as if we are intending to use it for normal day-to-day business communication. So filling your details, include your image, and also later we'll be adding our signature. Next is authentication. Here we will do a number of very easy steps, although technical steps, to let email providers know that the email is not forged and that the message is really being sent from the person who claims to be sending the message. So we will look at SPF authentication, DKIM, and DMARC authentication. If we are using GSuite, we don't have to do the DKIM authentication, but I will leave all the links in the description below. And simply what you have to do, go to those links as I'm showing on the screen. You want to copy the record and go into your GoDaddy account. You will click on your domain, manage DNS settings, and you will add text record for the both authentication methods. So now we have the new domain, we have the email address, and now we want to start generating some traffic on the email address to appear that we are in fact using this email address for a long time, or at least relatively frequently. So let's start with setting up a process for receiving emails to your mailbox. And the best way to do this is by signing up to websites or blogs that have some high frequency of messaging. And you want to sign up to at least or subscribe to at least 10 to 12 of these. And I like to go to Grant Cardone, PR Daily, and BuzzFeed quizzes because I know they send really quite a lot of emails, and it will start generating at least incoming traffic to your mailbox. But of course, this is not enough, because what builds really the reputation and trust of your new address is the back and forth communication. So not only when someone messages you, but also when you message them back and so forth. So to do this, there are two ways how you can go about this. One is manual, and second one is automatic. When we talk about the manual approach, I would say it should take around 2 weeks, and you want to build up the frequency relatively slowly. So maybe you will send 3 emails day one, and then you will add 2 to 3 emails every day until you go to around 12 emails per day. If possible, do this using business email addresses. So you email someone, you email a business email address, and they send you a message back, and you reply, and again, and you want to have a number of these conversations going, so it really appears that you are communicating with someone on a daily basis. One way how you can get it going quite easily is by switching your normal work / business communication to your new email address. A second way how to do this, you can simply pay a freelancer to manage your email account, and then you can find a number of different freelancers who will be sending emails to your main freelancer in charge of your address, and they will keep up the communication on a daily basis for a couple of days, or as I said, maybe 2 weeks. And this way you will build up the traffic in terms of emails coming in and also emails going out of your account. And lastly, the automatic approach is, for instance, using a tool like Lemlist, and they have actually a warm-up feature on their platform. And this means you can go and plug your email into Lemlist, and it'll automatically send and receive emails in a network of other people who are using their warm-up feature. And this will give you also a very clean and transparent view of how are your emails being sent. Do they end up in spam, or what's the frequency? So this is also a way you can use in addition to manual approach, or you can completely go just for the automatic approach. Unfortunately, Lemlist, they don't offer this feature on the free trial, so you do have to pay for that. But I think it is a really great value for money, and Lemlist itself is a good cold emailing tool. So maybe you can start paying them on an upgrade and use Lemlist straight away for your cold emailing. I think the value is really there in terms of their paid plans as well. The next stage is testing, and once you've been warming up your email for around 2.5 weeks, you want to now start testing if your email address is performing well and if it's ready to be used for your cold email campaign. One way how you can do this is through mailtester.com, and simply you will copy the email address they provide to you, and you'll plug it into your new email address, and you will send an email. Then you will analyze the results. If you see that it's showing you some problems, then you want to address that. In case some problems keep coming up and you are not sure why, and Mailtester is showing everything is fine, yet you still keep seeing problems, you should consider using a tool like Glock Apps, which will give you more in-depth look into your email situation. This is a paid tool, but it could be worth using just to uncover whether you're doing something wrong, or maybe if there are some underlying technical problems you need to address, or maybe whether you have to abandon this cold email domain altogether and maybe get a new one. And now we move into the last step. So at this stage, you have already a good email address which is warmed up and is pretty much ready to go, because you've been sending emails for at least 2-3 weeks at this stage. So now what we want to prevent is that the recipient will actually mark your email as spam, and this can very, very quickly undo all your work you've done up to this point. And I've seen cases where someone would create a new email address for cold emailing, and maybe in a month they receive somewhere between 2 to 4 spam complaints, and they've been blacklisted, and it was extremely hard to recover the domain. So that's why it's very important that you don't fail on this last hurdle, where the people you want to reach out to find your emails as spam and they will mark it as spam, because then everything you've done up to this point will be essentially pretty useless. So number one, you want to have a really high quality list, and this means the prospects are relevant to your business and to your offer. So you have to keep in mind that the people you reach out to, that they will really benefit from your offer. Of course, not everyone will reply, not everyone will buy, but at least it should be something relevant and interesting for them. If it's the opposite, if it's something completely unrelated and something where they're just not sure why you are even emailing them, they will simply mark it as spam. Secondly, the email should be concise and to the point. People should really, within a few seconds, understand who you are, what you want, and why you're writing to them. If they receive a wall of text, of course, they are more likely to simply click spam or to block you. Next, you want to employ some good copywriting. So that means, as I said, being relevant, you want to use personalization. So you have done some research on your prospects, and you can reference something that will be relevant in terms of why you are reaching out to them. Maybe as a pain point you are able to see on their website, some news, some industry event, or something along those lines. Lastly, you should use the unsubscribe button. While we don't use unsubscribe button all the time in all our cold email campaigns, I think if you're starting out, it is always better to use it, just again to prevent being marked as a spam. So I think you should be creative in the way you use it. Maybe you should say something witty towards the end of the email. not cute, not to be overly smart, but something maybe that will make them smile, and maybe they should reconsider to unsubscribing, or maybe tell them just click this button and I will stop emailing you. So if you can make it funny, if you can make it a little bit unusual, but not, again, as I said, not too cute, then that will work. Sometimes I see pretty rude unsubscribe buttons along the lines of, if you want to stay poor, unsubscribe, and so on. I really don't recommend this because people simply hate this kind of messaging. And then you want to also reuse the font a little bit more. So maybe, it's not so noticeable, but still visible. And secondly, so the main focus is on the body of the email and on your copy. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to receive more training and videos on prospecting, lead generation, sales, I will leave more links and videos at the end of this training. But if you're also interested in creating better cold emails, make sure to check out our training called the 20-60-20 rule of copywriting. It is a very simple framework where we describe how we generate anywhere between 20 to 40% reply rates on our cold email campaigns. And it's completely free. So while you wait for the other videos, make sure to go to the description below and to click the first link. It will take you to the website and you can download it and then go back to finish watching more videos. So once again, thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you next time.